What's up, y'all? It's Jimmy coming you guys with another video. Before we get into the video, as always, make sure to rate, comment, subscribe. And when you guys say subscribe, please make sure you guys are hitting that notification button. So getting right into the video, August has already come to an end and now we're coming on into September, which means a whole new month of sneaker releases. August was a pretty crazy month, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, from all the different collabs, Fragments, Travis Scott, Sacai's, AJ1's, all the off-white Nike Dunk lots. I mean, there was basically a shoe dropping every single other day almost on sneakers, it seemed like. And of course we gotta do an honorable mention to the Lightning 4s. Those shoes are a grail for a lot of people, so if that is a shoe you've been hunting down for like 10 to 15 years and you guys finally managed to cop a pair, I'm glad and I hope they lived up to the hype. But yeah, getting right into the sneaker releases for September. So clearly at the beginning of the month, not everything is announced. So this is really more so a preliminary list just to kind of get you guys on track, just to see what might or what will release in September as of right now. But of course, as time progresses, you know, Nike might drop something in the middle of the week that's going to drop at the end of the month, something like that. But this right here is for the beginning of September. So getting right into the sneaker release dates, this is from a Nice Kicks article. So going down, this is all still August. We are gonna start at September 1st. So here we have a pair of Air Jordan 1 mids. And I think because this list might be a little bit long, I'm only gonna touch up on basically shoes that I think are gonna be worthwhile for y'all time. If you guys do like mids and you guys see this being in your collection, then by all means go for it. But I myself, I'll be passing on these. So starting hot on September 1st, the very first of the month, which means that this video is actually after the release date, just based on the dates they have the uploads. But you have a Sacai Nike Vapor Waffle. Hopefully you guys were able to cop these. I myself, I have still not been able to cop any of the Sacai collabs, but this right here isn't too bad. I'll say, to me it feels more like a summer shoe just because of the white, the cream, the tan, more so than like a fall or like a winter shoe, just because when I think fall or winter, I think, you know, your shoes getting pretty dirty because it's like raining, snowing. But nonetheless, these are a pretty cool shoe, dropping September 1st, 180. And then you do have another shoe on September 1st, Quarter Snacks, with a collab with Nike SB, and these are Dunk Low. I don't know how hard these are gonna be to cop. You know, I don't know if they're like a skate shop only, because I don't think I've seen these on sneakers. I might be wrong, you know, and by the time you guys cop these, maybe we all managed to hit on a pair luckily on sneakers, but yeah, that's something I kind of highly doubt. And then on September 2nd, you have another pair of Nike Dunk Lows, I should say. These are the Georgetown colorways, and I will say, out of all the colorways that have dropped for the Nike Dunk Lows, and they are typically all like college teams, this one is definitely up there. I don't know where they exactly rank it, but the Georgetown colorway actually looks pretty fire. Just from that light, very, very light, cool gray that's on that mid panel, the toe box, and that back portion, paired up with like that very, it's not very dark, but like that almost like green, hueish, emerald blue tint that looks very clean. So this is definitely going to be a nice Nike Dunk for the collection. And then on September 3rd, we have another pair of Nike Dunk Lows. This is a collab with Undefeated. So it's crazy because whenever Nike Air Jordan did a collab with Undefeated, that was something that was always super hyped, went for a good amount. But the last two pairs, which was like a pair of like snakeskin Air Force Ones and a pair of Dunks, I'm not gonna say those brick, but they just don't go for that much resale vibes, which is good, right? Because now a lot of us can cop for basically retail in some sense. But yeah, now we're seeing this weird, like only some shoes are really hyped in terms of resale. But these right here, I don't picture them going for all too much, just because in my opinion, this is a worse shoe than those other two, even though this one isn't too bad. And then also on September 3rd, Undefeated is also dropping these Air Force Ones. So it kind of looks like they're doing like every time they drop an Air Force One, they drop a Dunk and vice versa. These right here are actually pretty dope from the snakeskin. The quality on these actually looks on point. I'll say the shape of the toe box is kind of throwing me off. I'm not too big on that shape right there. I've seen like the old school Air Forces have a very top tier superb shape, and then these right here are, you know, to simply put it, they're mids, you know, just not really feeling these. And then moving on to the second page, let's see what we got here. So pulled up basically the same shoes that was on the last page. You do have a pair of military blue for golfing shoes. If you guys are in the golfing, I will say if I did golf, you know, these would probably be the shoes I caught, just because, you know, I would love to still incorporate like that streetwear kind of side into that whole golfing room, which is very, it's not streetwear, right? Like it's very like you're wearing very specific style clothing just as you do streetwear, so it'd be kind of nice and cool to mix up the two. And then on September 4th you have another collab with a Nike Dunk. This is with Social Status. So the dunk right here is called Chocolate Milk, and it is a mid. It's literally a mid, not like, you know, it's mid, it's not that great. But this right here, I'm gonna say this is gonna be an easy pass for me. I don't know, there's something about this shoe that I am not a fan of. I don't know if it's that bubble swoosh, you know, like I don't think the pink looks bad, but there's something about that swoosh I am not a fan of. Other than that, the shoe is not terrible, you know, like I personally wouldn't buy a mid dunk. You know, the last time I had a mid dunk, I was in middle school, and I don't think I would spend my money on a mid dunk now, and I wouldn't spend my money on a mid dunk now, and really no celebrity could endorse this shoe to make me buy it. And then on the same day, Social Status is continuing that milk theme. They are dropping a strawberry milk, and also in the back it looks like another chocolate milk, but in a dunk low. I'll say the dunk lows actually look pretty fire in both colorways. The swoosh doesn't bother me too much here. Like, I don't know, there's just something about a mid where it just proportionally looks a little off. I don't know, there's just something about the shoe that kind of throws me off. But these right here are pretty dope. Colors are a little bit out there, but you know, they stand out and they're kind of different from what we've been seeing. And then on September 6th, you have a pair of Adidas Yeezy slides. These are the glow greens. If you guys can cop for retail, they're 60 bucks, which isn't bad at all. I'll say this colorway here is kind of just because I don't know how often you could really wear this colorway, but for 60 bucks, if you guys can hit, I would say that's not a bad cop at all. And then on September 8th, a shoe that I'm actually really looking forward to is this Fragment x Sacai x, you know, Nike Ldwaffle light smoke gray. Really looking forward to these just because, I don't know, they seem like a good everyday shoe, and you know, it's a collab with Fragment, Sacai, so you have all the hyped heads all in one, you know, one shoe that isn't too crazy, very simple to wear, could go well with a bunch of outfits, and it looks very similar to one of the first colorways they did, like the wolf gray or something like that. Of course, those in my opinion are much better than these just because they do have hits of cream, tan, a couple other different shades, but these right here aren't a bad alternative if you guys don't have those. And I'll definitely say, so far out of everything in September, this is the shoe that I'm looking forward to the most. And then on September 10th, we have a pair of Nike Dunk highs. These are called the Sport Specialties. So interesting about Sport Specialties, if you guys don't know, they were pretty big in the 80s and the 90s. They basically did all like the MLB, NFL, NBA stuff. I was gonna say they were vintage when they started, but they're not, right? They're only vintage now because it's something that's kind of like discontinued. You can't really get it anymore. But I'll say, if you had back then like a Sports Specialty snapback, like in like 2012 to 2014, then you had like basically the god tier of snapbacks, because those were kind of like the more rare ones that had like better quality, better design. So cool to see that they're actually doing something with Nike. And actually looking at the picture, if you guys can see a little bit closer, the swoosh, the mid panel, toe box, and the back portion is made of a corduroy material, which is pretty cool to see. And another shoe to keep on your radar, you know, although this channel I mainly talk about Nike and occasionally Adidas, like very rarely do I talk about Adidas, and I never really talk about New Balances. this is a shoe that you guys should be looking out for. The 990s V3s, you know, if you can get the V1s, V2s, V3s, the 990 is a classic shoe, right? Retail is going to be 180, like, you know, it's definitely in the pricier, you know, price range. The shoe is definitely in the pricier price range, but it's one that is going to be everlasting, classic, timeless, a shoe that you could wear forever. I'll say with this colorway here, it's a little bit loud, so maybe if you guys can't cop these, don't necessarily pay resale for these, but look into the different colorways that they have for 990s. I think all the gray colorways are absolutely fire. Very simple, very clean, and super easy to wear. I don't know if you guys can tell the theme, but basically all my shoes, I really love it when they're versatile and go well with a bunch of outfits. And on September 11th, you know, this isn't a shoe that I'm super hyped about, but you do have the Air Jordan 5 Retro Oreos. So these, when they first came out, I think I was still in high school, if I'm not mistaken. I might have been like a junior or something like that. But crazy to see them drop again, just because it makes me feel a little bit old, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. To see a shoe that I got to see initially drop become retro again is kind of unreal, because that means like, damn, the shoe has been around for a minute and now it's coming back out for people to enjoy again. But you know, this is a shoe that I know plenty of people are gonna love, be hyped for. You know, glad that they're coming back out. But for myself, this is gonna be an easy pass for me. And then on September 11th, we have the first Air Jordan 1 of the month, which is pretty rare or unheard of. And when I say Air Jordan 1, I mean like the high OGs, not the mids, but these are the prototypes. So I think this might be the ones where you could zip it to make it into a low top. I'm not the biggest fan of that look. You know, someone else has done it before and people were saying, you know, Nike Air Jordan basically bought this designer, and you know, I do believe they should give credit. I hope they do. I do think it will be interesting to see, you know, how that designer creative takes this shoe and what they decide to do moving forward. But I do think this will be a dope shoe to have in hand, just to kind of see how you unzip it, how it looks after you unzip it, how easy it is to like zip back up. And you know, like, what if that zipper breaks? You know, like, are you basically stuck with a pair of lows? And then moving on to the third page, which I believe might be the last page. So we have the mids. I guess they didn't show, well, I guess those last social status dunks were dropping on the 4th, I believe, and these are dropping on the 18th. But you have the strawberry milk for the mids, and just like the other mids, you know, colors on this aren't bad at all, but because it's a mid, I'm gonna go easy pass. And you know, I'm just gonna stop the conversation there, because I mean, unless you like the shoe, you guys go for it. I'm not gonna stop y'all, but I myself, these are a shoe I just will not be spending my money on. And then on September 18, we have a pair of Yeezy foam runners. These kind of look to be like a gold tannish color. I'm not too sure how to say it. It's like oak tree, something like that. But you know, if you guys can cop these, make sure you guys go try to cop them on the Confirmed app, local stores, all that, because these are always going for so crazy and they're so hard to cop. Like, I have still not been able to cop a pair for retail, and they go for like about 400 or 500 resale. So definitely a good little come up if you guys manage to hit a pair. And then moving towards the end of the month, you have another Air Jordan 5, the Shatter Backboard. At a first glance, I think they caught our eye, but just calling it a Shatter Backboard, because that is a highly sought after Air Jordan 1 model, like the 1.0s, the 2.0s, 3.0s not so much, but you know, that is a colorway that a lot of people do really love. So, you know, I don't know if this is like a quick little gimmicky, maybe like marketing play by Nike or Air Jordan, but they gave us these Air Jordan 5s here that look, I'm not gonna say too much about them, but they look okay. You know, like maybe in hand they'll look a lot nicer, but for myself, you know, just throwing that orange right there doesn't make it a super fire shoe. But other people might think different. I'll go ahead and say the shoe is an easy pass. And then on September 29, you have the Air Jordan 1 KO Storm Blues. So if you guys didn't cop the Chicago's, which came out I think in like June or July, you do have an option or a chance to come at this Storm Blue color, which is basically like the Chicago's in a blue version, at least for the KOs. But I will say the one interesting thing is to see the shoe sell out and people very hyped about the shoe, because the shoe came out when I was in high school and everyone dogged on the shoe. Like if you had the shoe, like it wasn't really seen as a really cool shoe or one that people really wanted. But now it just seems like people are really buying everything. So I do expect these to sell out. Would I cop them for myself? They're not terrible. Like if I could cop for retail, then yeah, sure. Like I probably keep, you know, maybe wear a couple times, but this is definitely a shoe I would not pay resale for. So that was all the shoes that are going to be dropping in September. Like I said, Adidas, Nike, New Balances, all these other shoe stores, collaborations are gonna come out as we progress through the month. Personally, for me, my favorite shoes that are coming out in September is gonna be the Sacai Fragment waffle trainers in the gray color. I think those are just super clean, very simple, a shoe that I could see myself wearing all the time. So really hope I managed to hit on those. I think they were coming out on September 8th or September 9th. But yeah, let me know down below in the comments what so far is your favorite shoe that is coming out for the month. Really think this is going to be a little bit slower month compared to August. It's not too bad from what it's looking like, but I don't think it's going to be as nice as August, because August was really kind of like one of those months for sneakers. So it's going to wrap up the video. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.